Hi, my name is Tim Elliot, and it's a pleasure to be speaking to you today as part of the League of Women Voters Voter Forum. I want to join in congratulating the League of Women Voters this year as it celebrates 100 years of service. I'm speaking to you today because I'm running for re-election to the DuPage County Board. I've lived in DuPage County most of my life. I grew up in Glen Ellen, graduated from Glenbard West High School, went to Miami University and Harvard Law School. My wife Ann and I are raising 4 school-aged children in Glen Ellen. I've spent much of my adult life in service to this community, as a member of the Glen Ellen Plan Commission and Village Board, as a member of the DuPage Water Commission and Stormwater Commission, as the president of the DuPage County Historical Museum Foundation, and as a member of the Board of Metropolitan Family Services of DuPage. When I first ran for the DuPage County Board in 2016, I promised to be an independent voice for District 4. 4 years later, I can tell you that I've honored that promise. For the past 4 years, I've been a staunch advocate for District 4. I've avoided the politics of rancor and divisiveness and have instead focused on finding solutions to the problems that the residents of District 4 have. This includes helping Wheaton residents combat an adult business that was illegally located near a school, helping make the East Branch of the DuPage River Trail a reality, helping neighborhoods with issues such as chronic flooding, interstate traffic noise, and light pollution, and helping us survive the COVID crisis with property tax relief and $16 million in funding for local businesses. But don't just take my word for it. In this race, I'm proud to be endorsed by the mayors of Glen Ellen, Wheaton, Glendale Heights, Lombard, and Carroll Stream. Perhaps the best evidence that I've been a staunch advocate for District 4 is the support of those nonpartisan leaders. In August, I voted to send this issue to a referendum to let the voters of DuPage County decide for themselves whether to reduce the size of the county board. But I must tell you, I did that with grave reservations about this particular measure. The county board had a bipartisan commission look at this issue. That commission produced a very well-researched, very detailed report in which it concluded that reducing the size of the county board would limit diversity on the board and would likely impair our ability to represent our constituents. In addition, there are better ways for us to balance our budget. Every year, we spend about $170,000 on health benefits for elected officials. Part-time elected officials ought to pay for their own health benefits and not stick the taxpayers with that cost. Every year, people run for the county board and promise not to take expensive taxpayer-funded perks if they're elected. And then once they're elected, they take them anyway. If we want to reduce costs, we don't need to reduce the size of the county board. We just need to hold board members accountable for their campaign promises. I've served on public and private boards for much of my adult life, and for most of that time, I've seen exemplary behavior, with board members expressing their opinions and voicing disagreement professionally. Until 2018, the DuPage County Board functioned much the same way. But that's changed recently. We've seen board members shouting over the chairman, interrupting each other, engaging in personal attacks, and most disturbingly of all, engaging in conduct that can only be called bullying. None of that is okay. It hurts our ability to operate as a board, and it violates one of our core principles. We must remember that we represent everyone in our districts, not just those who agree with us. When elected officials are divisive, we break faith with those that we represent. I've met many times with constituents who I know did not vote for me, but their problems deserve my attention. And I've worked with officials from both parties to try and solve those constituents' problems, because that's what we're elected to do. And if re-elected, I'll continue to do just that. I'm proud of our budgeting in DuPage County. We've raised property taxes just once in 12 years. Think about that. One property tax increase since 2008. I doubt any other unit of government in Illinois can boast that. In this coming year, our top priority must be public safety, keeping our residents safe in their homes, in their neighborhoods, and in their schools. In DuPage County, we have outstanding law enforcement, and they've earned our support. But public safety also means public health, particularly in the time of COVID. We have to make sure our health department continues to have the funding necessary to fight this pandemic. We also need to focus on workforce and economic development. We need to have job training to get our workforce back to work and to promote DuPage County as a premier destination for employers. Those are sound investments because new businesses mean new jobs for our residents and an increased tax base. Last year, I stood up on the board floor and insisted that DuPage County add mental health funding to its list of top legislative priorities. Up until that time, it had never been included before. I'm pleased to say that the full board supported that measure. Since being on the board, I've supported the work of our coroner, Rich Jorgensen, who's a statewide expert on opioid abuse. I've supported the work of the HOPE Task Force and met with congressional and state leaders to discuss addiction and opioid issues in Illinois. I've supported the use of Narcan for our sheriff's office, which has saved numerous lives. And I've supported our drug court, which provides alternatives to traditional criminal justice. All of that shows that in DuPage County, we are not treating addiction and opioid abuse in a vacuum, or treating it just as a law enforcement issue. It's not. It's a public health issue. And if reelected, I'll continue to support taking a comprehensive approach to these problems. DuPage County has grown dramatically during my lifetime, and we now have almost 1 million residents. That makes us a more vibrant, more diverse, and ultimately a stronger county. But it also creates environmental challenges and stresses that must be addressed. Some of that can be addressed through urban planning. We're already seeing a move toward transit-oriented, high-density development with smaller residences and smaller carbon footprints. That's a huge improvement over urban sprawl. Some of this must be addressed through building and zoning codes that incentivize green technologies and building materials. Some of it must be addressed by improving our last mile in public transit. I'm pleased to say that we're already working on these things, both at DuPage County and through Choose DuPage. But we also must change the decision-making that our residents engage in every day. We must find ways to nudge people to make more environmentally sound choices. All of the regulation in the world won't help if people are not committed to changing their own behavior. Thank you for your time today and listening to this. I hope I'll have your support in voting this fall, which concludes on November 3rd. If you want to learn more about me, my experience, my record, or my position on various issues, please visit my website, votettimelliot.com. In closing, I want to state again that I believe I've earned your continued trust and support over the past 4 years. I think it speaks very strongly to my record and my commitment to District 4 that the leaders of the communities in District 4, including the mayors of Wheaton, Lombard, Glen Ellen, Glendale Heights, and Carroll Stream, with whom I've worked closely over the past 4 years, are among my strongest supporters. If reelected, you have my commitment that I'll continue to be a staunch advocate for District 4 and will help move DuPage forward.